Hey there treasure hunters, coin collectors and accidental millionaires in the making, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential fortune and share a laugh or two along the way. So here's the deal, imagine this, you're digging through your junk drawer looking for a AAA battery you swear you bought last week, and instead you find an old dirty penny from 1968, nothing shiny, nothing flashy, just good old Abraham Lincoln, staring off into the distance like he's contemplating his next Gettysburg Address. Well, hold on to your coin jars because that boring looking penny might just be worth a mind-blowing $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard me right, $1.1 million for a penny, no mint mark, nothing fancy, just hiding in plain sight. Before you go flipping your couch cushions, let's talk about what makes this little brown coin such a big deal. Alright, let's start with the basics. This coin is the 1968 mint mark Lincoln penny, and at first glance it looks just like any other coin that's lived at the bottom of a jeans pocket since disco was cool. Now here's what makes it special. The no mint mark part means it was minted in Philadelphia, which normally doesn't use a mint mark anyway, so that's not the rare part. But what makes this particular penny insanely valuable is a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and a little sprinkle of minting magic. Some of these 1968 no mint mark pennies were struck on a rare bronze alloy planchet leftover from earlier minting processes. Others have incredibly sharp details, flawless surfaces, and were preserved in pristine condition since the day they were minted. Someone out there just knew they had something special, or maybe they just forgot it in a drawer for 50 years. Either way, it worked out. One such coin recently made headlines when it sold at auction for $1.1 million. That's right, someone got rich off a coin that probably bought Bazooka Joe bubblegum back in the day. Now I know what you're thinking, come on, how do I know if my penny is worth anything? Well, here's what you should look for next. Look at the condition. If it looks like it's been through 5 washing machines and a garbage disposal, probably not your $1 million ticket. But if it's in mint state, meaning shiny, no scratches, clear details, you might be onto something. Also keep an eye out for any doubling of letters or numbers on the front or back. That's what coin nerds call a double die, and collectors go nuts for that stuff. Seriously, we're talking full on Gollum from Lord of the Rings energy. And if you really want to be sure, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll slap it in a fancy holder and tell you if you're sitting on a small fortune or just a really clean penny. A few years ago I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage, and he had this coffee can full of change. No lie, it was probably the weight of a small child. I'm talking serious coin hoarder levels. Were sorting through it and I find this shiny little 1968 penny. I almost tossed it back, but something about it felt weird, like fate, or maybe just the 10 cups of coffee I'd hottie held onto it. Got it checked out and boom, turns out it was worth over $500, not a million. But still, I turned a penny into a weekend getaway and an embarrassing number of tacos. So yeah, keep your eyes open, folks. Also, fun fact, there are only a handful of these high-value 1968 pennies known to exist, so if you've got one, you're part of a very exclusive club like the VIP section of coin collecting, minus the bottle service and velvet rope. So what have we learned today, folks? Your spare change might just be your spare fortune. Don't judge a coin by its crusty old surface, and always check those pennies before tossing them into a tip jar, because that 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be your golden ticket. And hey, if you're into this kind of thing, we've got tons more videos coming up about coins that are secretly worth big bucks, strategies for building a valuable collection, and maybe even a few more stories about how I almost lost a $1,000 dime on a vending machine. So if you had fun today, learned something new, or just want to join the coolest coin crew on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring that little bell so you don't miss the next treasure hiding in your pocket. Hey, welcome back to the channel where pocket change might just change your life. Now imagine this, you're standing in line at the gas station, you've got $2 in your hand and a few pennies in your pocket, you're eyeing a Snickers bar real hard. Suddenly you remember, wait a minute, didn't I hear that some pennies are worth thousands? Nah, couldn't be. Then you get home, empty your pockets, and bam, there it is, a 2006 penny with a little D under the date. The one that looks like every other penny except this one might just be worth $1,200,000. Yep, you heard me right, $1.2 million. That's more than some people make in a lifetime. That's enough to buy a house, a few cars, and still have money left over for snacks. So grab your coin jars, your junk drawers, even that crusty cup holder in your car, because today we're diving into the wild and totally unexpected story of the 2006 mint mark Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. Get comfy because this is gonna be good. Alright, so let's set the stage. The 2006 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Its copper-plated zinc weighs about 25 grams, and it's got our good old buddy Abraham Lincoln facing right, looking all serious like he just saw someone spend a valuable penny on gum. Now on paper this is a totally ordinary coin. Millions were made, nothing rare about the year or the design. Right, wrong, most 2060 pennies are worth 1 cent, but every now and then a special one pops up. It's Got something funky going on, maybe a mint error, maybe a unique die variety, maybe just fate smiling down on your spare change, but one of these bad boys has been valued at 12 million shiny reasons to check your couch cushions. So here's the juicy part: why would anyone drop over $1 million on a penny? Well, it turns out the rarest 2006 Lincoln penny has some mind-blowing mint errors. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, clash dies, die breaks, the kind of stuff that coin collectors lose their absolute minds over. Picture this: a coin that was supposed to be just another copy of the same OL Lincoln penny, but something went wrong, the die shifted or got cracked, and suddenly it created a unique little treasure. And in the world of coin collecting, unique means cash. There's also speculation that one of these coins was struck on the wrong planchet. That's like minting a penny on a dime blank. Yeah, that'll raise some eyebrows and maybe the price tag too. So I was at my grandma's house helping her clean out the kitchen drawers, where every household keeps expired coupons, 2 dead AA batteries, and about 37 random pennies. I wasn't thinking much of it, but I tossed all the coins into a Ziploc bag, planning to take them to one of those coin machines later that night. I was bored flipping through coins like some kind of low-budget treasure hunter, and bam, I saw a 2006 penny. Nothing weird at first glance, but it had this slight doubling on the date. I squinted, I googled, I panicked. Could it be? I thought, is this the one? I even called a buddy who's deep into coin collecting and made him look at it through Zoom like full-on CSI mode. Turns out it wasn't the $1 million one, but it was worth a solid $15. Not bad for drawer junk, but man, you should have seen my face when I thought I hit the jackpot. I was already planning I found a penny and bought a Tesla video in my head. Alright, so here's what you need to know when hunting down this golden goose of copper: signs of doubling on the date or letters, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, die cracks around Lincoln's head or the rim, weird off-center strikes like Lincoln's having a bad hair dye. Any signs that the coin was struck on the wrong type of metal planchet? And most importantly, if it looks funky, don't spend it, put it in a little plastic sleeve or at least a sandwich bag. I mean, come on, treat your potential $1 million coin with a little respect if you're getting into this coin game, and I gotta say it's one of the coolest hobbies that can literally pay off big time. Here are some tips. 1. Get a good magnifying glass. Seriously, your eyes are great, but Lincoln is tiny and those mint errors are sneakier than your neighbor's cat. 2. Learn the lingo. Know your double dies from your repunched mint marks and your zinc rot from your copper core. 3. Connect with collectors. Whether it's a local club or online forums, there's a whole world of people who live for this stuff. They'll teach you things Google can't for use. Coin apps or websites to track what your finds might be worth. Some rare pennies are selling like crazy at auctions and marketplaces. 5. Never clean your coins ever. A shiny coin is great, but if you scrub it with a Brillo pad, you just murdered its value. So here's the deal: one little penny from 2006 could be worth over $1 million. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know what kind of history or hidden value is sitting right under your nose or in your pants pocket. You don't need to be rich to start, you don't need to be an expert, you just need some curiosity, a sharp eye, and maybe a tiny obsession with Lincoln's face. And hey, even if you don't find the $1 million one, it's a great excuse to clean out your junk drawer and feel like Indiana Jones while you're at it. Now, before you go, if you enjoyed this video and you want more tips about coins worth real money, how to spot valuable errors and strategies to turn your spare change into serious cash, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next episode, because who knows, the next coin we talk about might just be sitting in your piggy bank waiting to make you rich. Alright folks, picture this: you're digging through your old jeans from high school, maybe you're checking the pockets before tossing them into the wash, and bam, you find a penny, not a quarter, not a dollar bill, nope, just a lonely little copper coin chilling in the corner of your pocket, looking like it's been through a couple world wars and a family reunion. Now, before you toss it into the nearest couch cushion or drop it into that random jar of coins you never actually planned to cash and wait, because what if I told you that penny, yeah, the 2003 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny you're about to forget about, could be worth $1.3 million? Yep, $1.3 million with an M. That's enough to buy a Lumbo, a house with 12 bathrooms you'll never use, and still have money left over to buy actual pants that fit. So sit back, grab your favorite snack, and let's talk about one of the sneakiest, most valuable little coins hiding in plain sight, and how you just might have one sitting in your sock drawer. So the 2003 Lincoln penny without a mint mark doesn't sound like a big deal, right? I mean, you've probably seen hundreds of them floating around. It looks just like any regular old penny. Honest Abe on the front, memorial building on the back, nothing fancy, right? Because in the wild world of coin collecting, the devil is in the details, and let me tell you, this little penny is hiding more secrets than your high school diary. First off, the missing mint mark. That's huge. Usually you'll see a D for Denver or a P for Philly, but in rare cases you get a no mint mark penny, and that's when the magic starts. In 2003, a tiny batch of pennies slipped through the cracks at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark at all. This wasn't supposed to happen. It's kind of like if someone forgot to add cheese to a cheeseburger. It's still a burger, but now it's collectible and probably worth more on eBay. Now, only a handful of these no mint mark 2003 pennies are known to exist. We're talking less than the Number of friends you actually text back in a week, that's what makes it rare, that's what makes it valuable, and that's how one of these babies ended up being auctioned for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Now imagine being the person who found that penny. Maybe it was just sitting in the ashtray of their 2003 Honda Civic collecting dust and lost dreams, but one day they decided to actually look at it closely and boom, early retirement. A couple years back I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. Because apparently she thinks I'm stronger than I actually am, and guess what I found? Of course, being the total nerd I am, I sat down with a flashlight, a magnifying glass, and a cup of tea and started looking through it like I was Indiana Jones searching for ancient treasure. I didn't find the 2003 no mint mark penny, but I did find a 1964 D penny with a weird error on the reverse side, which I ended up selling for $80. Not a million, but still, free money from grandma's attic for 20 minutes of work, and I got out of cleaning the rest of the attic. That's what I call a win. So here's the lesson, folks: you never know what you're holding until you actually check. Alright, so how do you spot a 2003 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth megabucks? First, look for that missing mint mark. It should be below the year. If there's no letter there, it could be the one. Then check the condition. The shinier and cleaner the penny, the more valuable it is. We're talking mint condition, folks, not that crusty one stuck in your car cup holder with old gum stuck to it. Next, get it verified. Don't go running to Craigslist or trying to sell it to your neighbor Todd, who thinks he's a coin expert because he watched 2 episodes of Pawn Stars. Send it to a real coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm if it's legit and give it a grade. The higher the grade, the higher the price tag. And yes, one of those was graded a near perfect MS69 and sold at auction for $1.3 million. Talk about glow up, right? The next time you come across a penny from 2003, don't just chuck it into a jar or flip it for luck. Take a good hard look, because that plain little coin with no mint mark could be your golden ticket to a millionaire lifestyle. And hey, even if it's not worth $1 million, you'll still learn a little bit about coin collecting and maybe impress your friends with your new hobby, because nothing says cool like pulling out a magnifying glass and yelling, "This could be worth millions." Seriously though, coins like these are hiding all around us, in pockets and drawers in grandma's attic and even between your car seats, so don't miss your chance to cash in on something most people overlook every single day. And if you liked this video, if you laughed, learned something, or even just didn't fall asleep, I've got one little favor to ask: join the fam where we talk coins, cash, and collecting tips that could actually make you money. We've got more $1 million pennies, nickels, that are worth more than your rent, and strategies to help you spot them. Also, turn on notifications, grab your change jar, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll uncover more hidden treasures that just might be hiding in plain sight. Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and folks who have a drawer full of change they haven't looked at since 2003. Let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, hey cool, 1 cent richer? Well, what if I told you that one random looking penny you might have tossed in a tip jar could actually be worth $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. We're diving into the wild world of the 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That little coppery coin might just be your golden ticket, so grab your magnifying glass, your jar of coins, and your sense of humor, cause today we're talking about a penny so valuable it could pay off your student loans, buy you a house, and still leave you with enough for a lifetime supply of tacos. Alright, let's start with the basics. When a coin doesn't have a mint mark, it usually means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. Nothing strange there, right? But every now and then, something slips through the cracks, and that's where the magic happens. In 1994, most Lincoln pennies were made like usual, but a small mysterious batch of no mint mark pennies turned out to be totally not so usual. Think of them as the introverts of the coin world, quiet, humble, but secretly legendary. Now you might be thinking, okay, it's just missing a tiny letter, what's the big deal? Well, my friend, coin collecting is a game of rarity, condition, and just a sprinkle of mystery. These no mint mark 1994 Lincoln pennies weren't supposed to exist, or at least not the valuable ones. The rare batch we're talking about has pristine surfaces, super sharp details, and in many cases an error or two, like a double die or off-center strike. That combo right there, rarity plus condition plus error equals jackpot. A verified 1994 no mint mark penny in near perfect condition once fetched a whopping $1.4 million at auction. I know you're thinking, you mean to tell me I could be sitting on $1 million and not even know it? A few years ago, I was cleaning out the backseat of my car, you know, that scary spot where old French fries and mystery receipts go to die. I was vacuuming and I spotted a penny wedged between the seatbelt and the cup holder. I almost threw it out, but then something made me stop. I picked it up, noticed it didn't have a mint mark, and said, how weird. Turns out it wasn't the $1 million one, but it got me curious. That tiny moment launched me into coin collecting. I've been elbow deep in coin jars ever since, and let me tell you, I found coins worth $5, $50, even $200. Not bad for something I could have left for the vacuum to eat. Here's what you want to keep an eye on: a mint mark under the date, sharp detailed strike, no signs of wear possible, doubling on Lincoln's face or lettering, and if it's in near perfect uncirculated condition, that's where the real value kicks in. Oh, and pro tip: use a jeweler's loupe or at least your phone camera on zoom mode. You don't want to miss that one little error. That could be worth a boatload. You'll want to get it authenticated by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what condition it's in, and if you've hit the jackpot, then you can either hold on to it like a financial Pokemon card or auction it off to collectors who would give up their last jelly bean just to own it. Some have been sold at heritage auctions or through private dealers with deep pockets. And big love for shiny things. Coin collecting might sound boring to some people, but honestly it's like treasure hunting without having to fight pirates or dig holes in the backyard. Here's a little strategy. Start with your change jar, your grandparents' old coin box, or hit up some yard sales. You'd be amazed what people throw into the 50-cent bin. Also, if anyone gives you a weird look when you're hunched over a magnifying glass examining pennies, just look up and say, "I'm not crazy, I'm just potentially rich." Don't clean your coins ever. A shiny coin might look pretty, but if you scrub it down, you might accidentally remove thousands of dollars in value. Also, don't assume every no mint mark coin is rare or valuable. Check condition first, then look for errors, then maybe start dreaming of yachts. And please don't fall for sketchy online listings. If someone's selling a 1994 penny for $5,000 on eBay without any proof or grading, just slowly back away and clutch your wallet. We learned today that even something as small and simple as a penny could be worth more than a Lamborghini. You just need the right one and a good ISO. Go check your pockets, your piggy banks, your car floor mats, and maybe even under the couch cushions. Who knows, you might be sitting on your retirement fund in copper form. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. It tells the algorithm that coin nerds like us are here and proud. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon because I've got way more coin tips coming up. We're talking nickels, dimes, quarters, even some wild dollar bills worth big money. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to tear your house apart looking for that 1994 penny. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where spare change might just spare you from ever working again. Now imagine this: you're digging in the couch cushions looking for that missing TV remote. You pull out a gum wrapper, 2/4 a mystery crumb, and then you see it, a plain old 1964 D Lincoln penny. But hold on, before you toss it back into the coin jar or flip it at your sibling for fun, let me stop you right there, because if it's the right 1964 D penny, you could be holding onto a coin worth a jaw dropping $1.5 million. That's right, $1.5 million for a little copper disc that weighs less than a paperclip. No, this isn't clickbait, this isn't a prank, and nope, I'm not filming this from a van selling dream catchers out back of a gas station. This is the real deal. Today we're diving deep into the 1964 D Lincoln penny, why it's worth so much, what makes it so valuable, how you can spot one, and why your grandpa's old coin jar might be more valuable than his vintage VHS tape collection. So grab a snack, maybe even your coin jar, and let's go treasure hunting. Let's rewind to 1964. A gallon of gas was about 30 cents. The Beatles were invading America and Lincoln pennies were being minted by the truckload. In fact, over 3 billion, yes billion with a B, of these 1964 D pennies were produced. So why the heck is one of them now worth $1,500,000? First of all, the D stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular penny was struck. The coin features Abraham Lincoln on the front, facing right, with his signature stern yet fatherly expression on the back. You've got the Lincoln Memorial. If you're looking at a post-1959 version of the penny made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, this penny is just like billions of its siblings. But here's the twist: not all 1964 D pennies are created equal. Some have extremely rare minting errors or unique characteristics that make collectors go bananas. So what sets the $1 million penny apart from the rest? First off, it's usually some kind of rare error coin or a super clean high-grade version. A few of the big-ticket things to look for include a double die obverse, which means parts of the lettering on the front of the coin might look blurry or doubled up, like the words Liberty or In God We Trust, or wearing 3D glasses. A repunched mint mark where the D looks like someone changed their mind halfway through stamping it, or a full red uncirculated condition that means the coin has never been used in circulation and has that rich, bright, coppery luster. You combine those traits in a single penny and baby, you've got a stew going. I mean, $1 million stew in one. Famous case: a 1964 D Lincoln penny graded MS68 RD that's mint state 68 red, sold at auction for over $1.5 million because it was practically flawless and rarer than a polite honk in New York City. Now, before you go flipping over every penny you've ever touched, here's what to look for. Step 1: grab a magnifying glass or at least the zoom on your phone camera. Step 2: check the front of the coin. Is Lincoln looking sharp? Are the words Liberty and the date crisp, or does it look like they've been printed twice? That could be a double die. Step 3: look at that little D under the date. Is it clean, or does it look like someone typed it with a shaky hand? That might be a repunched mint mark. And step 4: if the coin still has that original reddish shine and it hasn't been through your laundry 10 times, you might have a winner. Oh, and pro tip: don't clean the coin, don't polish it, don't dip it in ketchup or lemon juice, or throw it in your dishwasher. That will absolutely kill its value faster than a spoiler kills a movie. So about a year ago, I was visiting my uncle, who keeps all his spare change in a giant glass water jug, you know, the kind that weighs more than a toddler when it's full. So I'm sitting there bored while he's watching reruns of 70s game shows, and I start going through his coins just to pass the time. I find a bunch of pennies from the 60s, and I remember reading online about valuable ones, so I set a few aside. Later I post a picture of one of them in a coin collecting forum and a guy messages me saying, dude, you might want to get that graded. Turns out it was a 1964 D penny in really good shape, not $1 million one sadly, but worth around $200 just from a coin jar. Imagine if it had been one of the super rare ones. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin that gets a grade over 65 is considered nearly perfect. That's the kind of condition that makes collectors whip out their wallets faster than a kid running for the ice cream truck. The top grading companies are PCGS and NGC, and if you really think you've got a rare coin, it's worth paying to get it professionally graded. It can turn your dusty penny into a verified piece of numismatic gold. By the way, while you're digging around, keep an eye out for other valuable pennies too. The 1943 copper penny worth over $1 million, the 1982 small date bronze penny, the 1992 close AM Lincoln penny. The world of valuable coins is deeper than your aunt's collection of antique thimbles. Alright, coin hunters, we've gone from history to mint marks to grading to personal stories, and now you know the truth. A plain old 1964 D Lincoln penny can be worth more than most people's cars, their houses, or even their mother-in-law's vintage wine collection. So the next time you get change at the store or you find a penny on the sidewalk, don't just walk by, check it, take a second look at the date, look for that D mint mark. You never know, you could be holding on to something life-changing. And hey, if you liked this video and you want to learn more about coins that are secretly worth a fortune, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Tap the bell so you don't miss out on future videos where I'll show you how your loose change could fund your dream vacation or at least a pretty great pizza night. Got a lucky penny story? Let me know in the comments. I read them all unless I'm too busy hunting through laundry for old coins. Hey coin fam, welcome back to the channel where your spare change could literally make you rich. If you're new here, go ahead and smash that subscribe button like it owes you money, because today we are diving into a story about a penny. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth $1.6 million. No gold, no diamonds, just good ol' Abraham Lincoln looking up at you from a copper coin. Now before you go flipping your couch cushions and raiding piggy banks at your grandma's house, hang tight, because this story has everything: value, rarity, history, and just maybe a sprinkle of luck. I mean, who wouldn't want to find $1 million penny, right? That's better than finding fries at the bottom of the bag. So let's talk about the 1979 D mint mark Lincoln penny. That's right, that little D under the date might just stand for dang, that's a lot of money. Alright, let's set the stage. 1979, disco was on its way out, Star Wars was taking over theaters, and in Denver the US Mint was churning out Lincoln pennies like there was no tomorrow. Most of them went on to live boring lives in vending machines and pockets and parking meters, but a few, and I mean a very few, turned out to be crazy valuable. Now you might be wondering what makes this tiny copper dude worth a whole house in Los Angeles. Well, my friend, the value of this coin comes down to a rare error. That's right, not all 1979 D pennies are valuable. We're talking about the unicorn of pennies. Here, a very specific error that collectors go nuts over. See some of these pennies were struck with what's called a double die error, which basically means the coin was stamped twice but slightly off, giving it this wild ghostly effect on the date and lettering. If your penny has this feature and it's in pristine condition, you might be sitting on $1 million payday. Now let me tell you a little story. I once found a 1979 D penny and I got real excited, like genuinely heart thumping, doing the happy dance in my living room. Excited, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. I busted out my magnifying glass like a detective on a crime show, squinting at the date, comparing it to online photos. I even called my cousin, who's basically a coin nerd with a PhD in numismatics from the University of YouTube. Turns out it was just a regular penny, but hey, for a moment I truly believed I could retire early and move to Hawaii. That's the magic of coin collecting, though. Every penny has potential, and the 1979 D penny with that rare double die in flawless condition, well, that's the coin dreams are made of. One such coin sold recently for a whopping $1.6 million. You could buy a fleet of used cars with that. You could buy a lifetime supply of coffee or like 2 months of rent in New York City. Now if you're thinking, man, I've had tons of those pennies over the years, you're not alone. Millions of these were made, but again, it's the error plus condition that sets the valuable ones apart. Look for sharp doubling on the date and lettering. Check for smooth uncirculated surfaces and no scratches or dings, and maybe, just maybe, take that trip to the coin dealer. It could change your life. So what have we learned today, folks? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That humble 1979 D Lincoln penny in your junk drawer might be your golden ticket, or well, copper ticket. I guess either way it's worth taking a closer look. And if you've got coins sitting around, don't just toss them without checking. There's a whole world of value hiding in plain sight, and I'm here to help you uncover it. If you enjoyed this video and you want more juicy coin stories, life-changing penny finds, and tips on turning change into cha-ching, then hit that subscribe button and ring the bell like it's the lunch bell in high school. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And hey, if you've ever found a cool coin or had a near miss like me, drop your story in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. You never know who you might inspire. Alright, coin crew, that's it for today. Go check your pockets, check your jars, and check your luck. This is your friendly neighborhood coin hunter signing off. Catch you on the next one, where we'll explore another coin that might just make you rich. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, hey, that could be worth something? Well, maybe it's time you took a second look at those pennies in your pocket or your change jar because you might be sitting on a gold mine, or in this case, a penny mine. Today, we're diving into a coin that's not just a shiny copper piece, but a treasure worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, million with an M. Let's talk about the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and how it went from ordinary to extraordinary. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll have your very own coin hunting strategies, and who knows? You might just discover the next big moneymaker in your collection. Let's jump in. Okay, let's break it down. First off, this 1978 penny isn't your average Lincoln cent. In fact, it's a rare gem because it doesn't have a mint mark. Normally, we see the D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, but the 1978 no mint mark penny is like the undercover agent of the coin world. And for those of you thinking, wait, what's a mint mark? Don't worry, I'll explain. A mint mark is basically a tiny letter on the coin that tells you where it was made. No mint mark? That means it was made at the main mint in Philadelphia. So, why is this so important? Well, the 1978 penny wasn't supposed to be this rare. In fact, most 1978 pennies look exactly like the ones you find in your pocket change today, just a simple, everyday coin. But this particular batch of 1978 pennies, without the mint mark, is incredibly scarce. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the value. A regular 1978 penny is worth about a penny. Surprise, right? But the no mint mark version? That's where things get interesting. In 2009, one of these bad boys sold for $1.7 million at an auction. That's a pretty sweet return on investment, especially considering how often we just toss pennies in the jar or let them roll around in our cars. But there's more to it than just rarity. What makes the 1978 no mint mark penny so special is its historical anomaly. It's believed that there was a mix-up at the mint that year. Maybe a batch of pennies was pressed without the mint mark, or maybe it was a mistake that no one noticed until much later. Whatever the reason, this particular penny is part of a small group that just didn't get stamped like the rest, and now it's worth millions. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through some old coins my grandmother gave me. She was one of those people who saved everything. I mean, her collection was so vast, I thought she had every coin ever made. She even had a piggy bank that probably weighed 20 pounds. Anyway, I came across a penny from 1978 and thought, just another penny, and tossed it into the jar with the others. Little did I know, if I'd had the no mint mark version, I could have been counting my $1 million fortune instead of nickels and dimes. But that's the thing with these rare coins. They're not always obvious. That penny could have been worth a lot, but I didn't know enough to look at the details. Which is why I want to help you all avoid that mistake and know what to look for. So, now that we're all wondering, how do I check if I've got one of these goldmine pennies? Let me help you out with that. First, look closely at the year. If it's 1978 and doesn't have a mint mark, then you've got a contender. The next step? Take a good look at the coin's condition. If it's in mint condition, meaning no scratches, dents, or discoloration, its value increases exponentially. Coins with original luster and no wear are always the most valuable. But let me be real with you, if your penny is looking a little worn out and scratched, it's probably not worth $1 million. But, hey, don't toss it. Even worn coins can have some value, just not that big-time jackpot value. Alright, let's say you found a 1978 no mint mark penny, and it looks like it could be worth some serious cash. What's next? Get it appraised by a professional. You can go to a local coin shop, or, even better, try an online auction platform like Heritage Auctions, where high-value coins often make their way into the spotlight. Trust me, when you're dealing with rare coins, you don't want to guess the value. It's like buying a used car and saying, I think it's worth $10,000, without actually knowing the make or model. Get an expert to look at it and give you the real scoop. Well, there you have it, the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare find that could be worth over $1.7 million if you're lucky enough to have one in mint condition. But even if you don't have one in your pocket right now, don't worry. Coin collecting is all about learning, hunting, and knowing what to look for. And who knows? That next penny you find might be worth more than you think. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I've got plenty more tips on how to spot valuable coins and coin collecting strategies that can help you build your collection and maybe, just maybe, find your own $1 million gem. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your change jar close. You never know when that next rare coin might pop up. Okay, hold up. Before you toss that penny in your pocket or throw it in the jar for your next laundry day, listen up. What if I told you that one little coin, a 1961 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.80 million? Yep, you heard that right. Not $18. Not $1.80. But $1.80 million. Now, I know what you're thinking, how in the world can a coin that I might find in my couch cushions be worth more than my car? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. So, grab your magnifying glass, no, seriously, you might need it, because we're about to explore how that humble 1961 D penny could be your ticket to a fortune. Let's kick things off with the basics. So, you're probably familiar with the famous Lincoln penny. It's that iconic copper coin with Honest Abe's face on it. Every year, the US Mint produces millions of these little guys, but, and this is important, sometimes, one of them can stand out and become worth way more than its face value. A lot more. Like, ridiculously more. Now, the 1961 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Sounds like just another typical coin, right? I mean, it's not like the 1961 D is a rare year compared to some other legendary pennies. But here's where things get interesting. The 1961 D is known for its rarity and condition, especially if it's in mint condition. Here's the trick, it's not just about the year. It's about the mint mark and how pristine that coin is. Mint marks indicate which US mint produced the coin. For the 1961 D, that D stands for the Denver Mint. And trust me, not every 1961 D penny is worth $1.8 million. You've got to find the right one. I mean, if you're going to start looking for your old pennies, I wouldn't recommend going through your grandma's coin jar, unless she's been secretly hoarding rare ones like a treasure chest. But hey, who knows, maybe grandma's been a coin connoisseur all along. Now, let me tell you about something that happened to me once. I was rummaging through my drawer, looking for some loose change to pay for a coffee. I swear, it's like I always have a ton of coins, but never enough of the right ones, right? Anyway, I pulled out a handful of pennies. Most of them were the usual suspects, 2005s, 1999s, the ones that scream I've seen better days. But then, I pulled out a 1961 D. I thought, it's just a regular old penny. But something told me to take a closer look. And you know what? I couldn't help myself. I grabbed my magnifying glass, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, I felt like Sherlock Holmes on a coin case. Turns out, it was in amazing condition. It was so shiny and almost flawless. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm no expert. But I figured it was time to do a little research. And lo and behold, I found out that a coin in such pristine condition can easily fetch up to $1.8 million at auction. I couldn't believe it. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't have $1 million penny. But I did learn something super important that day. Sometimes, you've got to look at your pocket change like it's a treasure chest waiting to be uncovered. Well, it's all about the combination of rarity and condition. The 1961 D penny is considered rare in mint condition, as in, it's been preserved over decades and barely touched by the elements. We're talking about those pennies that still shine like they just came off the minting press. But wait, here's the kicker. Even though most 1961 D pennies are worth just 1 cent, a few of them have a unique set of characteristics. We're talking about ones with almost perfect details, no scratches, no wear, and no discoloration. That's the golden ticket. If you ever come across a 1961 D penny, don't just toss it aside. Give it a quick check. Look for any signs of wear, and examine the details carefully. A good rule of thumb is to look at Abe's face. The more detail you can see, the better the value. And if you can't tell if it's in good shape, get it professionally graded. Alright, friends, here's the takeaway. your pocket change could be worth more than you think. You might have a hidden gem, just like I almost did, except without the $1 million payout. But still, it's fun to imagine, right? So, take a closer look at your coins. You never know, your next trip to the couch cushions could lead to a small fortune. If you find a 1961D in perfect condition, you could be holding on to something worth $1.8 million. And if not, well, you've still got a cool little piece of history. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth big money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll keep you in the loop on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and more. So, what are you waiting for? Go through those coins, hit subscribe, and keep collecting. Who knows, your next penny could be worth millions.